Aloha family, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something very exciting, which is we got to stay at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa for our very first time, and we stayed at the Resort Studio Lagoon View rooms. And just wanted to do a quick video with, first there'll be a room tour, and then we're just gonna walk through a little bit about the resort itself, some of the amenities, ones we got to enjoy, ones we didn't get to enjoy, what it was like being 20 weeks pregnant there and having a 7-month-old with us. This was our first time staying at the Grand Floridian, and this was our first time to Walt Disney World since 2019 and our very first time since having a child. So I'm just gonna go through a little bit about the resort. John will also be popping into this video possibly throughout, not 100% sure about that. So you may see him in some of the clips. Right now he's on Oliver duty, so if Oliver participates, he may be popping in to share his thoughts on different things. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the building and room that we were particularly in. So we were in the Pine Key building, which was so great. The Pine Key building is directly behind the main building for the Grand Floridian. And the main building for the Grand Floridian has the monorail on the 2nd level. So us being able to be in the Pine Key building, which was directly across from the main lobby, we were able to just hop right across a little courtyard and get up to the monorail, which was amazing. The rooms were really nice. The rooms were very quiet. We were actually in between 2 of the pools, which was also great if you had children that could really utilize the pool a little bit more than our 7-month-old. But we were in between 2 pools, so there's like a beach pool, and then I think the other one is called Courtyard Pool, if I'm not mistaken. And we were right in between both of them. We were also right on the beach. We had a view of the Polynesian. We obviously don't get to pick where you stay most of the time, but if you can request a building, I would 100% request that building, because we were away from the main action, but we were very close convenience-wise, so that was amazing. Our room in particular was a resort studio, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop in our room tour here. All right, friends, welcome to our deluxe studio, Lagoon View at the Grand Floridian. As soon as you enter this gorgeous hotel room, on the left side is this gorgeous bathroom with this immaculate tile, beautiful artwork, and this gorgeous filigree mirror with double sinks and plenty of storage underneath. Amazing. Because this is a deluxe resort, they still give you some of the individual Ross Geller serving size of the toiletries. Over here, we have a water closet, which has a toilet. Actually, this isn't a water closet because the shower is in here, but there's a shower with this beautiful gold detailing, more individually sized toiletries. Sorry if there's an echo, it's a bathroom, what am I gonna do? Then over here, we have this amazing little desk situation, and inside this beautiful box, because I already checked it out, there is a hairdryer for all of your hair drying needs. And then it's got this amazing mirror, so you can either sit here to work or sit here and do your makeup. Turning over here, we've got a little trash can situation with a recycle. And then if you look on your left, this is what makes it a deluxe studio versus a hotel room. You've got a microwave, a Keurig, some, drinkware. Then down here, they stock you up with some disposable plates and drinkware. There's some of the 50th anniversary edition coffees from Joffrey's for the Keurig, and then also a couple teas, some creamer, sugar, plastic cutlery. This, oh, I got excited. I thought that was chopsticks, but it's not. It's probably like a coffee stirrer. Then down here, you have a beverage cooler. So, hi, Kate's feet. You do not have a freezer, so just a heads up. Okay, over here, let's just look at the flooring. So we have this beautiful like herringbone type situation going on, and then this gorgeous rug displayed under these gorgeous beds. These are like the beds of my dream, okay? It has the most beautiful teal color. There is reading lights on either side of the bed. I don't know what this is. Some type of a light that I have no idea how to turn on. Down here, you have these adorable little floating nightstand thingies with a, what are those things called? Outlet underneath that not only has 2 outlets, but has a USB and micro USB. Come on now, that's amazing. Then, this looks like it's just a beautiful wall with wallpaper, but it's not, it's a closet. There's a safe in here, a handheld steamer, because people who stay at this resort are fancy enough to need to steam their clothes. Plenty of shelves in there. And then, look, more. There's another closet that has fancy robes. It has one of those luggage thingies. It has Kate's backpack. It also has a laundry bag in case you need that, and a lot of hangers. And then it's also got the amenity list over here. All of the things that are offered in this room. Spinning back this way, you have a beautiful TV that's mounted directly across from one of the beds. And then this dresser that has these amazingly deep drawers, 4 of them in total. You can see the marble here. This is a sleeper bed, I believe. Sleeper sofa, whatever you want to call it, but it's huge. It's like, looks are deceiving. This thing is wide. Okay, that's a good size couch. Got a little table right here, and then you have a second queen bed. In between the 2 queen beds, you have another nightstand, like a traditional nightstand with a lamp and the room phone. Then this bed also has the amazing little nightstand thingamajiggy. Let's just talk about this view. So this is a lagoon view room. We see the ferry coming in over here. It's got a nice little patio. Let me see if I can figure out how to open this beast. Good. There's 2 locks. Okay, we're gonna walk outside. We got the view of the beach over yonder, as well as other sections of the hotel, even the wedding chapel. The Polynesian is over there, and one of the ferry boats is going by. I think that's a friendship boat, I think is what they're called. And I wanna say that's the top of something. I don't know if it's Cinderella's castle because my geography is not great, but it's something. So that is that. So this again is the deluxe studio. We are DVC members at the Grand Floridian. Okay, so a few things about the room. One of the things, and we'll mention this, we're going to be doing a video with like our overall Disney World tips and haul from our trip, but we did not have any type of dining chairs in the room, which is fine because it's just a studio, so it's like a step above a regular hotel room. But the problem was that we had brought like a booster seat with us to be able to feed all of our, like kind of like high chair style, but there was no seats to do that. So that was the only thing. It was a little cramped in the room having a 7-month-old with us because we had to have a pack and play, and they didn't really have an area for the pack and play. So we would, in order to kind of navigate between our stuff and getting in and out of bed, we would have to either put the pack and play between the 2 queen beds or on the wall between the closet and the bed. So then we couldn't get into the closet. So it just kind of, and then the other option was we would put it in front of the couch, but then we wouldn't have access out onto the little lanai. So it just, that was a little tough having the pack and play in there. It wasn't anything like that made it the worst trip of all time. Of course not. It was just like a little inconvenient having to move that around, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Other than that, like storage wise, I felt like there was plenty of storage options. The closets that they provide are very large. And then there's plenty of storage under the beds. So you could easily put your suitcases under the bed. There was storage underneath the little makeup table. So you could put stuff under there. And then there was also storage underneath the bathroom vanity. So I felt like storage wise, it did really well. The only other con that I felt with the room was that there's only a little mini, it wasn't even a kitchenette. It was just like a little mini section that had a microwave and it had a coffee maker. It also had a beverage fridge, which a beverage fridge is only 41 degrees and it does not have a freezer section. So if you were on a breastfeeding pumping journey or anything like that, you wouldn't be able to freeze milk while you were there. So for us, we're on formula, so it didn't affect us personally, but I just wanted to mention that in case you're traveling with an infant, you would have to, there was a note that said if you have items that need to be frozen, please contact the front desk for accommodation. So I don't know what that looks like. Like, I don't know if that means you have to store your freezer items in the main lobby or if they have like a housekeeping area or what. I'm not sure. So that was like my only concern, is that there wasn't like a toaster, which I swear when we looked up the room, it said that there was going to be a toaster. So thankfully we hadn't purchased the bagels we were planning to purchase, but there was no toaster available in the room. Come on in, sir. Okay, Dadalorian is here. So is there anything else about the room? I felt like the bathroom was phenomenal because there was, even though it wasn't a separate toilet from the rest of the area where you get ready, I just felt like it was separated enough for us that it didn't need to be.
There was a door there.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, you know how normally there's like a water closet where it's just the toilet and then like the shower is separate? It wasn't like that there, which you saw on the room tour, but I felt like it was fine. But I loved the room itself, like the decor in the room, chef's kiss. However, one of the decor pieces, which was gorgeous, was a chandelier that they had up above the beds, but they didn't have a ceiling fan.
Yeah, I feel like that was a big...
But I'm like, now I'm really questioning whether there were ceiling fans in any of the other Disney resorts we stayed in. I can't remember. I don't know if it's just because I was pregnant, so it was like the lack of circulation.
I was very stuffy too.
Yeah, but we also stayed in a smaller room than we normally stay, because we normally get a one-bedroom villa. This time we got the resort studio. So I don't know. Let us know. Have you stayed at a Disney resort? Is there usually a ceiling fan? Are we crazy? What's going on? But we did bring, thankfully... Oh, grab it. It's right there. We talk about this in the Walt Disney World tips as well. But we brought this little fan, and it's got a little base here. So I just put this right on the nightstand, and it just takes like double D batteries.
D's, yeah.
It takes D batteries, and we didn't have to replace the batteries the entire stay. We were there 8 nights.
Every night.
Yeah.
Well, and it ran when you were in the hospital, and this is the same batteries.
Right. So, I mean, this is a great. This is the brand Treva, which you can probably find on Amazon where I found it. But that worked out fine. So we had plenty of fans, because when you're traveling with an infant to Disney, you're going to bring stroller fans. So the fan situation would have been fine. Yeah. The lagoon view was amazing because we actually had a view of the beach. They do movies on the beach, I think 4 nights a week or something like that. So when we approached our building, there's like a sign that tells you what days, what time, and what movies were playing. And so from our little lanai, we could look right down and actually watch the movie. And then to the left, where you see the Polynesian, we could see the Polynesians' electrical water pageant, but we could only see like the backside of it. The electrical water pageant is like one of my like nostalgia things from like when I was a child. So I freaking love that pageant. We ended up hopping over to Wilderness Lodge and watching it there, which was totally cool.
Because they have probably, we've never seen it from, I've never seen it from Polynesian, but I think the
Polynesian is a good view.
The, what's the grill we went to?
Geyser Point.
Geyser Point. Highly recommend. Geyser Point at 8:30.
Yep.
And then enjoy dinner and drinks, and it'll come right by.
Yeah. So that was the only, you could see the pageant, so that was cool because you could at least get the ambiance because the music plays. and we could see the backside of it. There was 2 very large trees right where Arla and I happen to be, but the other rooms in that building I think would have had like an unobstructed view.
Yeah,
we could see
on
the
other
ferries
path.
coming through. It was just very peaceful. It was just like first thing in the morning when the sun was rising. It was just gorgeous. I think that's...
I love to listen. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I work in the maritime industry, but I loved hearing the boats,
horns,
the boat horns in the morning.
I
it
think
was
too.
just,
I don't work
very,
in the maritime industry.
Well, it was very peaceful.
It was.
For me. I mean, it was... I know some people complain because they run super late. I thought it was part of the ambiance.
Yeah.
Like, it was really
And I think
nice.
with like the Grand Floridian, I've never stayed there before, or if I did, it was when I was like way younger. But I just always thought of it as like a very elegant, like classy hotel. And it for sure is, but it also has a very comfortable feel to it.
Very homey.
Yeah, it didn't feel like stuffy. It didn't feel like we were out of place. Like there was people that were dressed up to go to like fancy dinners, and then there was people just in like beach gear. It didn't feel like, it just felt like home. Like it just really felt like the DVC motto is always like welcome home, and I felt like that, oh god, it was just the best. It was such a good trip. And our room, the way, like I said, the way it was decorated was just amazing. I just loved the way they did it. The beds were actually surprisingly comfortable compared to other Disney beds. We have the world's best bed in our house. But I will say, of all Disney beds, I would say that was one of the more comfortable Disney beds. And then there was sufficient pillows, which I always have an issue with. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, I'm just going to insert a clip here of the laundry services that John was so kind to get a recording of for us.
Which apparently every building on the, well, at least Grand Floridian, has their own laundry service in each, I guess, building, in each, whatever, tower. They're all
and
on
the Grand Floridian
floor.
has quite a few buildings.
Yeah. So I asked one of the cast members when I was there, and in those Grand Floridian buildings, they're on the first floor, below the ice machine. So if the ice machine's on the second floor, the first floor in the same space has the laundry.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
And in the video, John didn't show it, but we had brought our own Tide Pods. But there is a vending machine, if you will, and he does show that, of laundry soap that they do provide, and that was the only thing that was a charge. However, we were staying in a resort studio building, so I don't know if it's because DVC guests are staying in that building that they don't charge laundry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if laundry in the main building costs anything, but at least in the Pine Key building, which you didn't need a room key to enter between the hours of 7 a.m. and 11 p.m., their laundry area was completely free of charge, except for the fact if you didn't bring your own soap, you had to pay for it. Yeah. So we'll insert the clip now of the laundry.
Okay, laundry at the Grand Floridian. They have this nice changing table, folding table. So this was all here before I got here. We used this laundry sanitizing bleach, just a little bit. Oh, 0% bleach, sorry. Definitely recommend. So this is free. This is free. This is free. Here's your dryer. The only thing you have to pay for is soap. They accept credit card. And I don't know how much the soaps are. $28 minutes. Somebody folded some clothes. That's cuties.
And next up, which I think is probably the most important thing to talk about, is the transportation options at the Grand Floridian, which actually is the reason why we were most excited about the trip, because the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is actually a monorail resort. And so that means that the monorail can go directly to Magic Kingdom from Grand Floridian. And what's nice is when you leave Grand Floridian, Magic Kingdom is actually the first stop when you're taking that monorail. So that was really cool. In a indirect manner, you can also get to Epcot, but it's a little bit of a hassle because you have to take the monorail to the Ticket and Transportation Center, get off the ramp, go back up, and then get back on the monorail and go to Epcot. Which sounds like a lot of work, and it is, especially when it's August and like 98 degrees with humidity.
And
However,
pregnant with twins.
and pregnant with twins. However, the fact that we didn't have to break down a stroller
Yes.
made it worth it. I still wouldn't have picked other transportation options to get to Epcot over the monorail.
This was my first time staying on a monorail resort, and I
haven't stayed since I was probably 10.
right.
So
And
it's
I
been
thought when we stayed at Wilderness
Wilderness
Lodge, that was the coolest thing.
which
because you
Wilderness Lodge, for if you haven't stayed there, is a ferry resort.
Right, we could take the ferry over to Magic Kingdom, but that only got you to Magic Kingdom. Whereas Grand Floridian, you could go to TTC and then go to Epcot. And I feel like for us, those were the two biggest parks.
Right. That we were going to use.
Right.
Because for us, I think Epcot and Magic Kingdom are the two friendliest when it comes to infants and being pregnant. I would say those are the two friendliest, which we'll get into in the separate video. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was the different modes of transportation you have, which is one, with Grand Floridian, you can actually walk to Magic Kingdom. So that's really cool. So I'm going to insert the clip here. John shows you the walking path.
I didn't walk the whole path. I just went to where it begins from.
Because he was trying to put our son down for a nap. And so Mr. Cranky Pants over there needed to go for a little walk. So John shows off the little walking path. And then also he shows off the monorail at that point. So for the monorail, what was really cool, like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I loved the building we were in is because all we had to do was walk across the courtyard, go into the main building, and then take the elevator up to the second floor. And on the second floor is where the monorail was. What was really nice about that is that they do the bag check and security right there.
Yes.
So you can get on the monorail with a limited bag check line. Like there was always, what, 4 or 5 people
And
at the
pro tip,
most.
if you have backup batteries, if you have any type of backup batteries,
Including your
stroller,
water warmer for your bottle.
If you have any of that in the backpack and you have a stroller, throw it in the stroller, because then when you go through their new fancy dancy
Metal detector.
It won't go off. We learned that the hard way. I did a whole bunch of trial
we're not trying to be sneaky with security. Security could see it because we put it on
we
the
always
top
put
so
it
they
on
could
top.
see it. It's just we didn't want to alert the metal detector.
They
for no
even
reason.
told me, don't leave it out and put it in the stroller and you'll be fine.
I don't want anybody in the comments thinking we're doing something shisty. Okay, we're honest people here, people. Okay. But anyways, you could get through the line way faster. So like, for example, one of our first days there, our ability, how should I say it? Like we were able to go to the parks at 7:30 a.m. because we were deluxe resort guests and the park didn't open till 8. So us being able to get through security with 3 or 4 people in front of us to get on the monorail versus the main security line at Magic Kingdom probably saved us 15-20 minutes, I would say.
Well, and I think the fact that we're on the Grand Floridian is literally the next stop is Magic Kingdom. Whereas if we were at
Polynesian
Polynesian or Contemporary, we have to make multiple stops on our way to Magic Kingdom. So for us, staying at Grand Floridian, trying to go to Magic Kingdom first thing in the morning was a much shorter and easier commute. Now,
when you come back from the park to go back, it's the opposite. You are the last stop on the monorail loop. However, if you're trying to rush back because you have a dinner reservation or something, you can take the ferry back, and then the ferry is the very first stop to go from Magic Kingdom, Grand Floridian. Grand Floridian is the first stop. But for us, it was almost nice to sit in the air-conditioned monorail for a little while before we had to like use our legs again to walk back to the room. So for us, it was actually a benefit that you can beeline it to the park to go to the park. And then on the way back, it's a little bit of a longer trip. And when I say a little bit longer, it's probably like an extra 6 or 7 minutes because it goes pretty quick. So anyway, so that's the monorail. The next thing is the ferry, like we were talking about. So for the ferry boat, John shows the ferry boat landing. So I'll insert that here. So for the ferry, John gets us a nice clip of the ferry boat landing area. So I'll insert that clip here.
Out here by Conch Key, which is one of the buildings, is the boat ramp to Magic Kingdom. There's the contemporary Space Mountain. That's the new walkway bridge for Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom. Doing a bunch of refurbishment on the buildings here. Very pretty.
Proceed. John has something to say about the ferry.
The ferry, so stroller wise, so the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian, there's two types of ferries that go to both of those. There's a really small one, and then there was
The
the
friendship
bigger.
boat. The friendship boat is the small ones, right?
No, the friendship boats are the ones that are in Epcot, that go between Epcot and, they're those long ones, the ones that we did the first day.
Okay.
I don't know the name of the other ones, but it's the yellow boat. That one is the bigger one. You don't have to break the stroller
Right.
down at all.
And if there's not many people on the smaller ferry boats, they'll let you sit in the handicap area,
Right.
and then you can roll the stroller directly in front of you. But if there's a lot of people, like especially if it's park opening or park close, you're probably not going to have a
Yeah.
shot. So it was even more irritating to me than the bus, because they're, at least on the bus, you could sit the stroller directly in front of you. But on the ferry, you couldn't do that because the rows are really long. Like it fits like
Right.
5 or 6 people, and they're very close to each other. So there's nowhere to put the stroller. And then the aisle is really skinny. So it's like you couldn't even like sit it next to you.
So I would recommend, if you do take the ferry with a stroller from Magic Kingdom to the resorts, wait for the bigger boat, because then you
Yeah.
don't have to break it down. at
Or
all.
you'll have to just stand. Like I think one of the ones John just stood with the stroller and it was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then the last option, oh no, there's 2 more options. The next one is the bus. So the bus has a nice, it was easy for us to get to, same thing as the monorail, because you just have to walk from our building to the main building, and then there's a bus depot right in front of the main building. Buses usually come like every 15 minutes to go to the 4 parks as well as the water parks and Disney Springs. The only thing is that the bus schedule is listed in the Disney World app for you. So when you go onto your resort, you can click bus times and then it'll show you all the bus times. It was almost never correct.
Yeah, I would suggest, if you're going to use that,
Go 10 minutes early.
or 15.
Yeah,
Because-
and there's a chance that that's not even going to be right.
Right. There was a
We
couple
tried
there that was
5, 6 times,
Yeah.
and every single time the bus times were not correct.
And we would show up early.
Yeah, and it was just kind of irritating because, like, of course, the couple times we were gonna do it, most of the time we were very relaxed during this trip. We were just like, whatever happens, no big deal, whatever. But the couple times that we tried to use the bus, of course, is when we had like bucket list reservations that we wanted to get to.
Yeah.
So that was the only downside. It just, it serves its purpose. It gets you there. It's free. I have nothing against the bus system.
No stroller? Great.
Yeah, when we were, without child, when we just were 2 crazy married people going to Disney World, we enjoyed staying at the Animal Kingdom villas at Jumbo House.
I feel like they run more buses there.
Yeah, but that's because bus is your only option in
Right.
the Animal Kingdom. But we loved the bus. We didn't care if it was a couple minutes late, whatever, it was fine. But having a stroller, man, and so when you get on the bus, you have to break down the stroller and you can sit it in front of you. Same thing, if there's nobody that needs the wheelchair area, they'll allow you to put the stroller in the wheelchair area and you can sit in the handicap accessible seats. But obviously you move if somebody who needs it needs the area. But other than that, when it was a crowded bus, it was just very unpleasant because you have to hold the baby, you know what I mean? And then the stroller we had was a little too bulky, so it was just a situation. Our very last option for transportation is to use like a ride share, and they have what's called minivans that are finally back in the parks through Lyft. However, the only thing I didn't like was that one of the times we were pretty desperate because we were trying to get somewhere and the bus had screwed us over. We were trying to get a minivan and it didn't, when I went on, it said to go on Lyft. Like I went into the Disney World app, it said to go to Lyft's app, downloaded the Lyft app, go on the Lyft app, and I don't see minivan available. John figured out it's because you have to turn on your location services. which I'm not like a conspiracy theorist or anything. I don't care if the government knows where I am, okay? Because I don't live an exciting life, okay? However, the location service tends to drain your battery. So I don't like to enable it. And also there's nothing that tells you, hey, you have to enable your location service, because I'm putting in my destination of where I am and where I'd like to go. But it didn't offer me minivan because my location services were not enabled. So if you're trying to get a minivan, and the reason why we're adamant about getting a minivan is because they always come standard with a car seat. Whereas with the other Lyft cars, I couldn't figure out how to see if they had a car seat or not. Like, I couldn't figure out how to request that. So anyways, that's your final option when it comes to transportation. So
well, unless you have your own car.
Unless you have your own car, which we personally did, and that was great. And it was awesome because we were Disney Vacation Club members, or we are Disney Vacation Club members, and we have free parking. So that worked out beautifully. So anyways, the options that you had for transportation were walking, personal vehicle, monorail, ferry, bus, and a rideshare service.
Hands down monorail.
So, yeah. But I mean, those are a lot of transportation options.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. So I loved that part of it. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is restaurants. Okay, so let's start by talking about the restaurants that we stayed at. In case you see me looking down, it's because I have the iPad in front of me with the disneyworld.disney.go.com so I can refer to it. Let's first talk about our most used restaurant, which is a quick service location, which was the Gasparilla Island Grill.
I have a lot to say about that one.
Why don't you start, sir? Take it away, your life.
The food was pretty good.
Yeah, the food was, for a quick service location and for the
really
price.
Good. Yeah, and the price.
Very good.
My gripe. Okay? And I don't have many gripes about Disney, other than it's very expensive. My gripe is, for some reason, when you do mobile order anywhere in the Disney World parks,
it's seconds.
it's very quick and it's very efficient. For some reason, when you do Gasparilla, it is
not just Gasparilla. Any of the resorts that we even hopped to, if we did quick service,
Polynesian, yeah,
it was
very
and
slow.
I'm not talking. We're very patient people.
And when I say slow, I mean you make the mobile order, and then when you get there, you check in.
Yep.
I would check in
our room.
In our room before I got there.
And then we usually walk down. And one of the times, he went down to go switch our laundry.
Yeah.
Then walked all the way over to Gasparilla, which is on the other end of the main lobby.
And I still waited a half an hour.
Still waited. Like,
I could have just ordered the food there and just not did mobile order. The whole thing is the mobile order should have been a lot faster.
Yeah. So,
and
but
I feel like that to me.
And we're patient people. Maybe we're coming across like we're not. We are very patient people. Of course, we don't like make a stink at all. John
I would
patiently
right.
waited.
If it was like that across the board,
yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem with it. But why can they figure out how to do it in the parks? But
it's
they can't figure
staffing.
out. They can't figure out their life in the resort.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's a staffing issue, is what it is. But we got to try. I got to try the two. They had a 50th cupcake there, and it was honestly like cupcake is a very.
It was like a mini cake.
It wasn't a cupcake to me. Like cupcake to me is something you can take with your hands and eat. This was more like it actually had like a mousse dome on top of it, like a fancy mousse dome, and then a cupcake base. But you really needed like a fork and knife to eat it. Like it was like that. And then the fall cupcake though was really good. It was maple buttercream, I want to say, and then on this inside it had like apple pie filling. That was really good. The other thing that was phenomenal there, that it was funny because the very first night we got it, everybody had told me before I went to get the macaroni and cheese at Gasparilla.
Yes.
And then we watch Disney Food Blog, All Ears, and now Mammoth Club all the time, and they always talk about the mac and cheese. And the Tim Tracker channel always talks about the mac and cheese at Gasparilla. So we're like, okay, we have to get it. The very first night we got it, we were like, what is everybody talking about? It kind of tasted like KFC mac and cheese. Like it really wasn't that exciting. But then we kept ordering it every night. And then, I shouldn't say every night, but every time we ordered from Gasparilla. Right. And then it just kept getting better and better. So I don't know if that first night we were just tired from driving, or maybe we just got hit with a bad batch, like it had been sitting there too long. I don't know. But
it got to a point where I had made a comment like 6 days into the trip, like, I think this mac and cheese is pretty good because we keep.
Yeah, so that was really good. Other than that, I mean, it's just basic, like it's, you know, chicken fingers. And then our favorite thing to do, or at least my favorite thing to do, because I don't eat very large portions of things, is at any of these places, especially when you're doing mobile ordering, you can order off the kids menu. Even if you're 35 years old like we are, you can order off the kids menu.
Why are you going to tell everybody how old we are?
So for me, it was just cheaper and it was no waste because like I said, all we had was a beverage fridge in the room. So even though ordering on the kids menu, I still had some waste. But we got like, I want to say I got the kids cheeseburger at one point and that was good. John kept getting the chicken fingers.
Pizzas were good.
The pizza though, was that from there or was it from the private dining? We got pizza.
No, we got it from there because it was like a flatbread pizza.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that was pretty good. We didn't really do much with breakfast there.
We did.
Yeah, you got the sausage and pepper pizza, and I just got the regular cheese pizza, and it was pretty good. And I mean, they're $10.99 and $11.99, so for Disney prices, it's really not that bad. And then trying to think what else. Oh, one of the nights I had brought my own salad, so I ordered some chicken nuggets and just put those on the top, and that was really good. So, anyways, that was all I wanted to say about Gasparilla's. And like I said, even though the mobile ordering wasn't as efficient as we would like it to have been, it was still very convenient to be able to just order ahead, not have to hem and haw over a menu, place it in the thing. And you guys know, if you have a husband and you're trying to tell him, hey, this is what I want, you know, he might get a little tongue-tied. Have you ever tried to order Starbucks with your husband?
Okay, Starbucks is a whole different animal.
You can't do Dunkin' Donuts either. Let's be
I
real.
can do Dunkin' Donuts.
You know how you have to like give him one item at a time? Like bagel. Toasted.
There's a lot of pressure, all right?
With cream cheese.
Sometimes, especially when they're talking very fast.
Oh my god, the guy at Dunkin' Donuts yesterday, completely sidebar, he kept like interrupting us. I literally asked him, are you okay? Because it was the most bizarre experience I've ever had. And it was,
that it? Is that it? Are you done?
It was
Are you
so,
done? Okay.
It was so weird. And I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts, so I'm like never mean to people or anything, but he was like, I literally was worried about him. Like, Sidebar. Anyways, so that was Gasparilla Island
One
Grill.
thing I will say about Gasparilla to close it out, if you go during the Magic Kingdom fireworks, it has a front row seat to Cinderella's castle. So you can see the castle lit up. You can actually see some of the projections.
And since John had so much time on his hands waiting for the mobile order,
I watched the fireworks.
He got to experience the fireworks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they do it, John, you know?
It may be. I don't know.
Next up that we got to enjoy was the Grand Floridian Cafe. This was another one that one of my friends had recommended. She said she liked to enjoy it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We only got to enjoy it for dinner. I got the lobster thermidor burger, and John got the fried chicken.
Holy cow.
I got to try his fried chicken, and it was phenomenal. It was so good. I think they also had, like, rolls or something there, yeah? That were really
bread?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And then I got a Minnie Mouse dessert situation.
Oh, no.
And I want to say I also got a cup of, like, lobster or crab bisque or something. But it was really good. I couldn't finish my burger. I only ate about half of it.
Shocker.
I know, it's so weird of me. But the lobster was good. The lobster burger was good. It just wasn't, like, the best thing ever. But the service was phenomenal.
Yes, the service was
And
good.
we were able to get right in. Like, I went on my app to see if there was any times available. And it was, like, 15 minutes from then there was a reservation. So we were pretty much able to just float right into there. So that was really nice.
That fried chicken with the sauce that was on it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really good fried chicken. Like, really, really good fried chicken. And it was funny because the very next morning, he got fried chicken again at Olivia's at Old Key West.
But it was different.
And it was also amazing, but a completely different fried chicken. So
Right.
it was funny. Another couple ones to talk about is there's 1900 Park Fair, which is a character breakfast that has like Mary Poppins characters and Winnie the Pooh characters, but right now it's not running. However, I want to say the end of September, they're bringing it back. We have been there before in 2007 and it was really cute, but we obviously didn't enjoy it this time. The other thing that's closed right now is Narcoossee's, right?
Narcoossee's is under construction.
Yeah, and Narcoossee's is a really beautiful location because it's right on the water, and it's in like kind of like a dome.
Which apparently they do firework viewing.
Oh, like a dessert parties and stuff.
Sure. No, it's like a dinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's we didn't get to stay there, but they have more like seafoody type, and they're like more like elevated type dining. Another elevated type dining is Citrico's, which is only available for dinner, and it says that it's a whimsical setting inspired by Mary Poppins Returns. We thought about going there, but then just decided it was a little too fancy for us.
I took a video of that.
Yeah, I got the video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, one of the other ones I got to enjoy was the Courtyard Pool Bar. So that's just like typical, like I got like a virgin lava flow or something.
And a chicken wrap.
And a chicken wrap, a buffalo chicken wrap. And it was actually like for poolside dining, that was really good. They also have Beach's Pool Bar and Grill, which is on the other...
The big pool.
The big pool. Let's see. There's a Garden View Tea Room, which we did not enjoy. But they do like little teas there.
I never even seen anyone in there.
No, I didn't either. So I don't know if it was closed when we were there, but it was always roped off and there was never anybody in there. And then Victoria and Albert's is like a famous, very expensive experience.
Five diamond.
Yeah. Is it like $500 or something?
No, well they just came out with new pricing.
So who knows?
I mean, I think it's
very
like
pricey.
$300 a person or something like that for like basic, and then it goes up from there.
And then last but not least is the Enchanted Rose, which is like a lounge type situation. And John got video of that, so I'll be inserting that here. But we didn't participate in that because we had already brought Oliver to, what was that called? Olga's Cantina. So I felt like, you know, the amount of time our 7-month-old should be hanging out in a bar had already been exceeded. So we didn't end up taking advantage of that. But John did get video, so it was
But
really...
I will say, everywhere we went, you could bring... Like they always asked you to bring the stroller.
Yeah, so
that was awesome.
And then there's always private dining, which is available via room service. So we did it once. It ended up being a little costly. It was a $5 delivery fee, and then you always have to tip, of course. So it ended up just being a little pricey for like average food. Like we could just get it at Gasparilla. Yeah, it was I think it was actually the Grand Floridian Cafe menu, pretty much, just like a little amended. But anyways, that's all I had to say about restaurants. Okay, so next we're going to talk about, there's just the different buildings that Grand Floridian has. So a couple of the buildings, like I said before, we stayed at the Pine Key building. I'll show you the main lobby area, which was gorgeous.
Which apparently the third floor and up is all concierge level.
Ooh. So. And then John also got video of the DVC tower, which is new, right?
I think
it's new.
I don't know.
And that's where all the deluxe studios were. So we were in the Pine Key building, which had resort studios, but the deluxe studios and 1-bedroom villas, and I think 2-bedroom villas, are in the DVC area.
Which next time we go back there, I definitely want to try and get a 1-bedroom in that building. They have their own
parking area and
like lobby. They have their own what is that, the awning to pull up to get all your...
The only thing is it's a little bit further from the monorail area, but
true.
Whatever.
This is the backside of the DVC Villa Tower. So pretty. There's covered paths from this tower all the way to the main lobby. That's kind of neat.
Next thing we're going to talk about is recreation. So John got a couple videos of the different, what is that called? Rentals that you can do. So you can actually rent boats there. So I'm going to insert a clip here of that. There's a spa. There's the pools, obviously. You can actually do fishing. You can take specialty cruises. There's also an arcade.
Oh, we didn't go in there.
Yeah, we didn't go in the arcade. They have basketball courts.
Out front of the DVC villas, they have a barbecue pit. And right next to the villas, sports court. Oh, that's cute.
There's a health club / gym.
Where was the arcade?
I don't know, to be
I
honest.
think it was next to Gasparilla.
And then, like I mentioned before, on the beach, they have movie Under the Stars available. And then also there's like campfire activities. It says that there's roasting marshmallows, which in the video you point out the fire pit and you said, I wonder if they do s'mores. And sure enough, they do. So it's 6 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can do the roasting of marshmallows.
I never saw it.
I never saw people partaking in that. What was cool though, and I think I got a video of it and I'll insert it here, is when we walked into our building, which I'm assuming all buildings offers, there was this very large, like, what are those things called? Easels?
Activity board?
Yeah, there was like an activity board that showed you different arts and crafts that were going on. It was like unbelievable. There were so many different things you could do. Some of them were free, some of them had dollar signs next to it that there was a charge.
You could stay at that resort.
There was like a painting, like, you know those like wine painting events? There was something like that. You could do your own Disney painting. So plenty of things to do if you're even not going to the park. We'll insert the pools. So I got to go to the courtyard pool, which I thought was cool because it actually it's like a 0 entry pool, and it has like a 0.9 meter platform basically, where it's like you can basically sit in the water. So if you have a baby like we did, it would have been easy to just sit in the water with him and let him splash around a little bit. And then it kind of tapers off into a regular pool, and then the poolside bar is right there. So the servers go around and check in on you and bring you whatever you need. Then there's a splash pad area, which was Alice in Wonderland themed. And then there's a beach pool and bar. And we didn't take advantage of that because that was usually busier with
that was very busy.
real
They have a
children.
big waterfall.
Real children. Like our kid's not real. He's real. He cries a lot. But he's not the age to be partaking in that type of situation. So, but that was a really beautiful pool. It was really pretty. So yeah, that's it there. I don't think I have anything else. Do you have anything else, sir? When it comes to pricing, we can't really talk about pricing because we used our Disney Vacation Club points. So I know it's quite pricey, but we had the opportunity. DVC points were actually very reasonable to stay here. The other thing that this resort has is they have the Bippity Boppity Boutique. It was closed while we were there, but you are able to, normally use that if you want to get your little princess dressed up for meeting the princesses or whatever. They have that there. And then the other thing I was going to mention was, there's also this really cool
soap.
Yeah, like it's like a soap boutique upstairs. It was on the 2nd level, and they have like a bath salt bar, so you can actually like make like a little what was that? It was like a bottle, I guess, and you can fill up the different bath salts. They had like, I don't know, 12 different colors, scented bath salts, and you could just fill that up for yourself. They also had bath bombs there. They had soaps there, and they're all like Disney themed. Some are non-Disney themed, but had like Disney scents and things. It was just really cool, a really cool experience. And then they also have like 4 different merchandise locations, maybe 3?
3.
Pretty sure there's 3.
Yeah.
So there's like a, basically like a, what are those things called? A sundry store, is that what they're called?
Yeah, so there's one because there's the deluxe resorts and stuff there. There's one there that sells like all the food and microwave stuff and refrigerated stuff.
And toiletries.
And a lot of that.
Some baby care items.
Some.
Yeah.
Not what
and
we
then
need.
that one also had, it had like a home section. So
and the DVC stuff.
Yeah, and DVC stuff was in there. Then there's another one that's more of like a fancy type one, which had like clothing,
Tommy
like
Bahama.
fancy clothing. And then it also had some like higher end purses, things like that. And then the upstairs one, which was more like a World of Disney type situation where it was kind of like, souvenir type merchandise there. Another thing that I'll mention, and I'll insert a little photo for you, is that here at the Grand Floridian, there's actually a little photo area where you can take a picture with Cinderella's slipper.
That was new.
Yeah, that was new, and that was really cool. So if you're like looking for something not in the parks to do kind of an Instagram-worthy photo session, He had multiple different props. So there was like Cinderella's slipper, but there was also like a, what are those things called? Like
book?
a book, but it was like a once upon a time type book. And it is a PhotoPass photographer. So you can either give them your personal device to take a picture, or they'll take it with their fancy flashy camera. But then you obviously would have to pay, or like we bought the, what is it called? Magic Maker?
Yep.
We had the Magic Makers. I don't know if it's called Magic Maker.
Memory Maker.
Memory Maker. Yeah, Memory Maker. We have that, so we were able to do like unlimited photos during our park days. So I think that's pretty much it. So that was our thoughts and review on the beautiful Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. A lot of people are saying Disney World has lost its magic or whatever because of Bob Chapek, but I disagree.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, we don't like him, okay? Like, I don't like how he's running things, but at the same time, I think Disney is what you make of it, and I think if you go in with the attitude that the magic is not the same, then you're not going to get the magic. I think that you have to make your own magic at Disney sometimes.
Well, and I think especially staying at Grand Floridian, doing it the way we did this time was a lot more immersive as far as enjoying
things outside of the parks.
Yeah, like the resort. Like I could stay at that resort for a week.
Yeah, without going
anywhere.
Yeah, I would have been fine. Which we never would have said that before.
Right.
Like it would have been like, who goes to Disney and doesn't go to Disney? You know? But this time I think we just had a different experience and it was awesome. But I just feel like it was just a magical trip. It was so like, it was such a good blend of relaxing and adventurous. You know, we got to dabble in a little bit of everything. I just loved the Grand Floridian. But yeah, next time we would need to stay in a 1-bedroom villa. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys joining us. I hope you loved this. I wish that I could tell you that I'll have more of these in the near future, but sadly we don't have another Disney World vacation on the horizon at this point.
Yes.
If you guys have questions about our stay at the Grand Floridian, if you feel like we missed anything or you have a specific question, please leave it down below. All right, you guys, I hope you have a magical day. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.